Hey, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Mir Musk, episode number 55, the Rhonda Findling interview. Rhonda, how are you doing tonight, sweetheart?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm very excited to be on your show.
Thank you. Jack, want to introduce her to the audience
Yeah,
properly?
so I discovered Rhonda recently in a weird turn of circumstances, but Rhonda is an author, a rapper, psychologist,
Therapist.
therapist,
Okay, good, yeah.
and is an expert on male and female relationships, right?
Mostly more about detaching from unhealthy relationships, not about
Okay.
like how to fall in love,
Right.
but more the other way around, how to detach, like how to know somebody's not healthy for you and then how to get out of the situation.
Don't be talking to your exes.
Exactly. That's why my book, Don't Text That Man. The first book, Don't Call That Man.
Right.
Yeah,
Um,
and then you have the newest book is the cock block, don't cock block,
No,
right?
that's actually an old book, but I don't have it on my website because the most of my readers and people follow me are women. So it's fun. I was talking about my website person today. I said, should I just give in and put that book on my website already? And I decided still not to because some of the women may get a little intimidated. It's like my other books are very, Don't Call That Man and When He Runs from Love. And all of a sudden you'd see How to Stop Being Your Own Cock Blocker in the middle of it. So. That's an old book. That's from 2015.
Okay, How to Stop Being Your Own Cock Blocker, A Man's Guide to Successfully Relating to Women from Rhonda
I
Findling.
know it's a weird title, but honestly, it's one of the most best written books at pop psychology wise that I did out of all my books.
Yeah, no doubt. So, and then it's crazy because you were watching a show I was on, and then we started DMing back and forth, and then I discovered, so you had initially been doing a lot of streaming with Elisa Jordana, right?
Oh that was in 2015 on the Kermit and Friends show.
Kermit and Friends, right? And it's funny because I saw a clip of you with one of our buddies, Gino Bisconte. You were on the show Elisa Jordana's Kermit and Friends with a guy named Gino Bisconte.
That wasn't a live stream show. That was a regular video podcast that originally Benji Bronk was on with Elisa. So they started it, and I think I may have been the first person to come on there. I was the therapist who was trying. That's when they were in a relationship, and I was trying to help them as a therapist. And then it evolved into like a comedy show, and then I evolved into being the therapist cougar because it didn't work with having a therapist on their show. It just didn't work. So it became a little bit like funny that I was the therapist, and then there was a lot of younger men, who were following her, and then I was getting like the drift off.
Right.
The leftovers.
You're an expert.
No, the men who like the intellectual type, they were coming after me. So I evolved into a cougar on the show.
And you've seen a lot of these incels on the internet over the years. Then you're an OG, so you're trying to help them, kind of, basically.
Oh, the Cockblocker book. It wasn't just about incels. It was actually based on a man that I knew who was his own cockblocker. That's why, like, man I knew personally in a personal relationship. I said, you know what? Men need to find out how they stand in their own way of getting women. Or
can you give us a?
Sometimes they've been getting sex or women, relationships, love, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Can you give us like a little bit of advice to because we have a lot of we have like some like super baddies, like chicks that watch our show, but like 80% of them are like lonely dudes. So like, can you give a little bit of advice of like?
It's interesting because I was like preparing for the rapping. I didn't even prepare. Like, I'm really going to talk off the top of my head now.
No, that's what we want.
Okay, let me really.
Imagine you're in a bar right now and we're just approaching you for advice.
I think a lot of things. The biggest thing that I think is a problem is men when they have a lot of anxiety and due to, let's say, making a commitment, or they're feeling that closed-in feeling about like getting involved or living with somebody, they do things to sabotage it. And this is the biggest thing, is the critical. Now I'm talking from like as if I was addressing from the women's book, but I sort of transmute it into the men's book, but they'll come up with a critical list. So I've had male clients who broke up with a woman because she had hammer toes. I swear to God. like everything else was perfect about it, but she had hemorrhages. One man who really had a lot of problems. The woman was a really fantastic woman on paper, but she was taking antidepressants, and he really needed help more than her. And he broke up with her, even though she was doing better than him in life. She had a better job. She was making more money. She may have been more attractive, more popular, and she was on antidepressants. So he says, that's it. I have to break over that. Or I knew a guy who broke up with a woman because she couldn't ride a bicycle. I mean, I can go on and on with lists of things that men will make it. I mean, anyway, the reason I'm just saying that, I mean, that's not the only reason. That's not like the biggest problem in the world, but I'm just saying that men sometimes will, think of reasons why they should end a relationship, because sometimes they just really need to check their anxiety and what they're anxious about. And, I'm noticing also that men need to really talk about it to other people. I think I've noticed that men who do make commitments and get married, if they're struggling with that, if they talk about it to family members, and men who are married or in serious relationships, they can talk them through their anxiety or the critical list, help them be more realistic.
Right.
No doubt. Yeah. It's funny because you also have been doing this like highly intellectual stuff in your profession, but then also you started getting into the music game a little bit, doing some rap and comedy rap and stuff you're writing, right?
So what happened is, I have to go as far back to around 2006. I went to Paris just for a trip, and I met these people there, and I got into a writers group. And when I came back in the next year, I met some people. They were into the open mic scene, the spoken word open mic scene. This is all expats, not people who are French. Although there's some French people, it's mostly expats. And I started to just, like fool around with it a little bit, like make a little raps. I don't know, it's just something like fun to do. And then what happened is when I lived in New York then, and I said, why should I be into that scene just in Paris when I live in New York? So I started going to open mics in Manhattan, in the city. And most of my friends there were my age, but sometimes, and also, by the way, I was working on a memoir, which I've since published since then. So really the reason that I was going to the writers groups and spoken word and in New York, all that is because of my memoir. But these young rappers used to come through the open spoken word open mics in the city. This is all like around 2007 now. And it was just fun to watch them. And honestly, I wasn't even into rap. And I did have a friend who's a fantastic spoken word artist. She's actually older than me. And I said, you know what? I need to market my new book, Don't Text That Man. I have to do something different. And she said, why don't you write a rap? And she would help me with the rap. Because even though she was older than the usual rappers, she was a spoken word artist. So she taught me how to do it. And I wrote Don't Text That Man. And so I started doing it. And then I would get so much attention. I was really good at doing it. And so I just kept doing it. And then I ended up on I had a video I made with a friend.
You did a rap video? Oh shit.
I know, I made Don't Text That Man video, and I sent it to Elisa right when she was still on the Howard Stern show. And that's just like the turning point when she started Kermit and Friends. And she really loved the video. And so then when she was starting Kermit and Friends, I went on there, and she would, every time I go on, they would play the Don't Text That Man video. It was really funny. And so then I went from that to, because the younger guys, all that attention I was getting, I wrote the Cougar Rap as like a storyline for her show. And then we would audition men on her show to be in my Cougar Rap video. That was very funny. That's actually, I have footage of that on my Facebook wall. The men auditioning to be in the video.
Is this
it? There it is.
Holy shit. I've never.
Do you mind if I play it for a minute?
I used that footage for the Cougar Rap. I actually made a separate Cougar Rap video. Yeah, that's true. That was taken. Yeah.
This is just a little sample for the fans. Go to our YouTube page, subscribe. There's a lot of good bars out there, but we'll get into Mir and your crossover in music, but I want to play a little for the fans.
Okay, that's fine.
It's true, I can't deny. So if you're middle-aged men, don't even try. If you're young and hot, just count to 10. When you open your eyes, you'll be one of my men. I love young guys, I know it's true. They appreciate my beauty and my wisdom too. They see me as a mother and a crone, I'm sure. For men all love their mom as it's a universal law. Don't fight the spell that I cast on you. Older women are hot and you know it's true. Don't fight the spell that I cast on you. Older women are hot and you know it's true. When I cast my spell, you'll want me bad. Being with men my age just makes me sad. Stick with me if you want real love. Younger men and me fit like a glove. Age is just a number, or so they say. So text me now and make my day. 10, 20, 30 years. I'm an experienced woman, so have no fear. Don't fight the spell that I cast on you. Older women are hot and you know it's true. Don't fight the spell.
Yo, Rhonda, what the fuck? Yo, that
That's
shit went tough at the end, really. Damn, girl. Holy shit. Now, how much dick did you get from that music video when that shit dropped?
What? How much what?
No,
How much
mind.
dick? You had to get some dudes, right? In the DMs, at least.
Oh, yes. I did. I have to say, when that, oh, no. You know what? Honestly, wait a minute. I made that video during the pandemic.
The kids are watching.
That video was actually made. In other words, I have the footage from 2050, like years before that, but I actually put the video. It was very boring during the pandemic. There was like nothing to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to make that cougar rap video. Wait a minute. I think also I recorded, because I live in Atlanta now, and it's so easy when you live in Atlanta to go to a recording studio. It's like in Atlanta, it's like going out to Starbucks and go over to the recording studio. It's not like it was in New York. In New York, it would be a big deal, but in Atlanta, it's like nothing to go to a good recording studio. And that's what I did. I think everybody had masks on, and I went and I recorded it. I did it over, and then I had an editor.
Who's that guy in the video?
I didn't honestly. In fact, I think funny you say that, because the manager of Patchwork Studios, who's like, he knows everything about rap and rappers, Osmond, he thought for sure that video is going to go viral. And, I thought if Osmond thinks that is going to go viral, it's going to go viral. And it didn't go viral at all.
Oh, damn.
Sorry to say, nothing really happened with it.
Just to give you a little taste of what Mir was doing back in the day, can I play Tinder?
God. Yeah, bro. I played Tinder. That shit's tough.
Yeah, shit's hard. So Mir was in the music game for a while too before we started this show. So
How is that?
I want to be a porn star.
Free drugs, bitch, you gon' pop that. So damn gone that I lost track. My lifestyle, bitches, fuck that. In my own hell, faded, were my two man. Sad bitch in the field, swipe left. So damn alone when I'm depressed. Pop star life, you don't want this. Wear long sleeves for my scarred wrist. Witches ruins ends. I wanna feel it hit me out.
I can see my hands.
You don't know my brands, so high that I can feel it. Wait until I land, crashing and all around me. How the hell did you
Ice Whip. Shout out Ice Whip.
Let's go, Ice. We need him back on.
That was
Rhonda,
really,
what do you think about us as young men right there? Like, honestly, as a therapist, seeing
I
those two
think you're both
gentlemen.
really, actually, I was, who was that other guy whose show it really was? Because
Will Heron.
I was telling him, I think like you and him, like you're both such nice, open-minded, intelligent men. I honestly asked him, I wrote that.
Yeah,
Like, you both seem like really nice guys, like for real.
We're
Thanks.
sweethearts. We're sweethearts.
So Mir did the music game for a bit, and then he went out to Hollywood, and they ate
And I
him up
became
and spit him
homeless.
out.
I
Yeah.
sucked dick for money, everything, dude. It was bad. I remember
What were
one
you like,
time.
what's that guy? Cat Williams? That's what he was saying.
Yeah. Cat Williams was exposing all
On the
that.
Shay
Yeah.
Shay show, it's like,
Yeah.
are you saying what he's saying?
I sucked them up and then I spat them out, basically. But either way, it was a very
You and Cat
fun.
Williams get together.
We should sometime. I love
I don't.
that
I
talk.
mean, to set it
Anyway,
and tell reveal all this.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no. So okay. So you're doing the music thing out in ATL right now, which is like a mecca for a lot of hip hop and stuff. And then the big news that just came out was the NBA YoungBoy.
Oh yeah, that was really well. To be really honest, my brother's his lawyer, and that's how I ended up. I didn't really know who he was, and then my brother was representing him, and I was wondering who is this guy, NBA YoungBoy, and I listened to his music, and I love that song, "Love Is Poison," because a woman can sing that, and so that's why I made that because.
So that's your brother, Drew Findling, that power attorney, and he's the attorney for all the rappers, right?
Yes, Cardi.
Oh, he's a MegaG.
Lil Baby, Da Baby, all the babies.
Offset, yeah.
Everybody.
That stink, yeah. So so that's how you're tied into all the hottest artists.
Honestly, I swear to God, I'm not. He's a criminal lawyer, so he can't really connect me with them. I have no connection with any of them. That whole thing that happened with Offset was purely a miracle that came from the other side. My brother did not set that up. This gets a little bit complicated, but in 2017, he wasn't that famous, that Offset. And he was famous, but not the way he is now. I don't even know if he was dating Cardi B then. And he had to call my brother for something, and he was on Skype, and my brother had to go get some papers or something. And I have to admit, it was Thanksgiving. I was partying a little bit. So I was a little bit that was the days of the Cougar Rap days. And
right.
I saw that my nephew was holding and I saw, there's this famous rapper. So I told my nephew, let me rap for Offset. And he goes, no, leave him alone. And then my brother saw what's going on. And he said, let her rap for Offset. So I rapped the Cougar Rap for Offset, and he thought it was hysterical. I thought it was really funny. That was 2017. Okay, so it happened during the pandemic. I was going to the dentist. That's why I don't look so good in that video with him. I was having an anxiety attack. So I'm going to the dentist in the pandemic. And I know it's unbelievable, but there was a really heavy door to the office building, and I couldn't open the door. So I asked, I didn't know it was Offset. I just saw the next person who came along, and I asked him if he could help me open. It was Offset. He helped me open the door. And then we're standing at the elevator, and he recognized me. He said, aren't you Drew's sister? And I'm like, yeah. And I still didn't know it was him. I'm a fan of Offset.
Yeah.
And I was just so nervous about the dentist and the pandemic. I couldn't even focus. It could have been anybody standing there. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, because I think he knew I was a fan of his. I think he wanted me to know, I'm with somebody who I'm a fan of. And he said, I'm Offset. And I was like, oh my God. And it became hysterical. I was so starstruck. And that's how we started doing. And then he heard I have a cover song. Let me sing Bodak Yellow. And so my brother found us. He said, why don't you let him hear your little cover song? And so he was listening to it like that. And then he started laughing. And then I started doing it, and then we did the thing together. So, but other than Offset, I really don't meet any of these people. I have really no connection to them through my brother.
Your brother never worked with YNW Melly? I'm sure he would use your brother.
He what?
You know what's going on with YNW Melly right now?
No, I don't know about all the different rappers.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, he's dead. But anyway, go ahead.
So
I'll just do a quick little sample of this, but you covered it.
If you wanted to, least expensive, these is red bottoms, these is
This is Rhonda. Holy shit! All right.
I can get them both. I don't want to choose, and I'm quick kind of man off, so don't
People
get
love it.
comfortable. Look, I don't dance now. I make money.
Just a little sample for the people. So incredible stuff. So you found a little passion.
I know that's the only rap song I really sing that I'm really good at. I didn't write. And whenever I go to karaoke, I have to just say this: when I go to karaoke, you can have the best singers in the world, Broadway level singers, but when I get up and I sing Bodak Yellow, everybody starts. I always win at the end of the night. I'm the one that was the best. No, because it's so shocking for people when they sing Bodak. They can't even believe it. They're like. It's not unusual somebody like me to be singing. And I have it almost memorized. It's not even like I'm just sitting there looking at. I could do it almost without looking at the the lyrics anymore.
You're breaking music barriers with that shit, honestly.
I'm in my own lane.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So what is what's like the personal? You got a man right now, or you looking for one? What's going on in the love life?
Right now, I'm unattached. I am not in a relationship with anybody right now. I'm actually like super busy. I'm really into traveling and, just having a good time. No, I don't mean a good time. That came out wrong. Sorry.
We gotcha. We got a buddy who's kind of in the same boat. He's like not looking, but he's also kind of unattached that we might try to set you up with. And he does a little rap too. Would you ever date a stand-up comedian?
I would date a stand-up comedian, yeah.
How about this guy is also a little bit of a rapper. Can we show you a little bit of him to see what your thoughts are, and maybe you can give us your thoughts? All right, one sec. Let me pull it up. Yeah, this guy is a New York-based comedian named Ray DeVito, and this is him here. He does a little rap too.
He's from the trenches.
So he's this guy in yellow here.
Yeah.
Oh, right there.
Ray DeVito. 6523. Social security number, fool. I got overactive sweat glands. I'll deal with stuff. I got a tattoo once. That shit slid right off. And on my face, I got a big fat chin with a cleft in the middle like Peter Griffin. And my girl, I wish she had bigger breasts. I'd rather deal with those than her emotional messes. Bipolar? Is she?
First impressions.
He's a good rapper. I'm really serious.
Hey, Ray, score one right there.
Good.
Good rapper. He does it with, he has that rapping swag thing.
What do you think of his look?
Oh, I think he's a good-looking guy. I think I'm a little bit too old for him.
Well, this video is from like 10 years ago, so he's actually in his I think he's in his late 40s or early 50s.
Okay. Yeah,
This is like 10 years ago.
but he's in New York. I really don't. I'm really not into long distance things. That's the only bad thing.
Where are you at right now?
I'm in
She's in
Atlanta.
ATL.
Oh shit,
Right?
ATL, fuck, the capital of the music world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Well, so he's got some
When he
swag.
comes to Atlanta, he can he's welcome to look me up.
He can look you up and hit you up. I'll play a little bit more of his flow for a sec. But yeah, so this guy, he's been like perpetually single for a while. And I think he really just needs a good partner. So that's why I brought it up. And, when you're saying like someone who cock blocks themselves, he's kind of that guy, because he has this philosophy that he's only into women who are into him.
And who are at 35 or something, right?
Yeah, but he's something like that. But it's honestly like he has no women like to be chased, right? Like to some degree.
No, sometimes women like to be the chooser, especially nowadays. If they're attracted to a man, I don't think there's anything unusual about them being the pursuer. I don't mean pursuer like they chase a guy down, but rather just wait for a little flower to be picked. I don't think it's like that anymore.
Right. Yeah. So, and then like he's got all these like hot, because he's like been single his whole life, but he has all these like requirements for his
Oh, that's what I was telling you about.
Yeah. Earlier today,
yeah. So his main thing is like he wants he wants like really muscular women.
Oh.
Yeah. So
okay, well, those women who are really into bodybuilding.
Yeah, he loves those.
Yeah. So he has a type.
He has a type for sure, but I don't know. Like, I think you could give him. He could learn a lot from reading your stuff and maybe talking to you on like a professional level.
Okay.
So that's something.
A client than a boyfriend, to be really honest.
He might be a better client, but
I'd rather have a client than a boyfriend if I had a choice.
Rhonda, what's your take on Tinder nowadays and how it's destroyed our the way we go about talking to people nowadays, like just like online dating in general? What's your take on all that?
But I know
the hookup culture.
I've actually known people who have met each other and got married off of Tinder. So it's worked sometimes, but
small minority.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I mean, it's like everything. It's like the social media. It's like everything is. I can't remember his name. Is it Galloway? He's on my he's actually on my Twitter. But like there, all these people are saying now, it's like people actually, that's what they're saying, that men are better off if they try to be like the way they used to be, like more aggressive and try to go to things in person.
Right.
I know it's hard because it's so easy to just do swipe right and left, but if men could try to force themselves to maybe meet women in more natural circumstances, they'd probably be better off. I know it's like so natural not to do it, but you have to force yourself.
Right. Yeah.
What are some of the traits that women look for in men in today's era most? Because it seems like with the internet, like the flex culture was big a couple years ago. So women, it was all played up that women like men that have a lot of money, maybe, or like have, I don't know, status.
Lambos.
It's very confusing right now. I wrote a book, it came out last year, and about this whole marriage thing. And I was, it's like some women are looking for somebody who has money, but then a lot of women are not looking for that now. Like some women just want a companion, they just want like a partner, and they don't care if they make, because a lot of women are making more money than men now. Not a lot, but I just mean it's starting to, shift. So like if all the women were sitting around waiting for men like years ago who make more money, they may never be with anybody. So if they want to have a partner, they have to be more flexible about that old standard. The standard has changed. Like everything is changing now. So because there's more women who are graduating from college more than men, there's women, I don't know, all these statistics are just all shifting around. So women have to really change their priorities. It's really up for grabs. It's really hard to say. Like, do you remember when the rules was, no, now I'm showing my age, but when my book came out, Don't Call That Man, the rules came out, and, there were these certain rules you had to follow, and it was very old fashioned, like the women should play more hard to get, but that was around 2000, and we're in 2024, and it's all shifting around now. So I think it's up for grabs now. I just think that everybody should just be looking for somebody they feel an attraction to, and it's not a toxic relationship. I think the big deal now is if you think a relationship is unhealthy, I'm not saying like the picky stuff, like, oh, he does, she has, she's not the exact type, doesn't have muscles, I don't know, whatever. I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but I'm not talking about the superficial things. I mean, like you have to get along. If there's too much aggravation and toxicity, like just get rid of it. But I think that everybody has to start shifting, being more open-minded now, because everything is just changing.
I agree. And you're right with that. The corporate shift, and like women are making more money. And Andrew Tate used to talk about this, that it's when women start making more money and gaining more status, it makes it even harder for them to find a suitable husband sometimes, because typically they want someone who's equal, like in making money or status or higher. And then once a woman starts getting it, for them, it can be challenging, and that it's just a changing dynamic as that shift is happening, where women are providing more of the resources now, whereas traditionally that was like the man who would do that, right?
Exactly. And so women have to, I think if they want to get married or they want to be in a relationship, they can't hold on to those old standards anymore. They have to like loosen up. And the name of the book was Why Haven't I Gotten Married, or Maybe I'm Better Off. And it's just, there's just so, I don't need to say it, like some women are happy they didn't get married. Some women still want to get married. It's just like so out there now, like not everybody wants to get married anymore, or not everybody wants to have children anymore. And some women still want to get married, It's like sort of everything's up for grabs right now.
Now with the smartphone era and everyone has so many options and all the information, everything's happening, it's being documented, and do you feel like there's an increase in toxicity in relationships because of this?
Yeah, you have to be like really careful now. The whole thing with pictures and everything. And also there's so many crazy things that happen now. You have to, like, you can't, it's like, I'm from the disco days, like you could just, honestly, you can have a one-night stand in the disco days and you knew you weren't going to die. The only thing you'd be scared was getting pregnant. It was practice birth. There was no AIDS, like nothing. And like I know that's when the movie Looking for Mr. Goodbar came out, so I don't know if I should really say that, but most likely you were not going to die if you just like hooked up with somebody, you know. But nowadays I'd be terrified. And even drugs was different then. Like you didn't have to worry you're going to die of fentanyl, like overdose if you just It's like everything was just normal. Now it's like, I'm telling you, if I was like your age nowadays, I would never take any drug. I'd be terrified of dying because you don't know what's in anything. It just wasn't like that then. So I guess what I'm saying is everything is so like different now. It's like you have to be so paranoid. It is really hard, you know, to try to have a normal relationship and date and try to be open to people and not be paranoid and be vulnerable at the same time. It's much more challenging. But
now, as an expert, that same guy we showed you earlier, can you assess this clip I'm going to show you? Because this is him going through a relationship. And I want to get your take on it, on what your thoughts are. It's a 4-minute video, so we're going to sit and watch it. I can pause it too throughout, but I'd really enjoy your take on this because this is this kind of shows like a lot, and then you'll have a good take on it because yeah, it shows what people are going through these days.
What's going on, Rock Bottom Podcast? What's up? I got the lovely Eri Jane here with me. How are you, my dear? If this is
so that woman, that was the guy who was rapping earlier, Ray DeVito, and that woman was the woman of his dreams who didn't reciprocate to him.
oh, can I see that again?
Yeah. So this is the woman.
You're still showing it. You're still showing it. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So this is
it would be an idealized woman, like he's idealized.
Yeah, and this is July 26, 2023 is the date up there. You just can't see it because the title's up there. But he had fallen in love with her, but she was kind of more of like a best friend. So it played out over time, but we're going to watch it to see how he reacts to her.
What's up? I got the lovely Eri Jane here with me. How are you, my dear? If this is a real thing with fucking Eri Jane, that fucking, let's get real. If that's a real thing, that fucking cunt used the fuck out of me. That fucking attention-seeking whore.
Well, I love you, my dear. In whatever regards you let me love you, I love you.
So what's happening here is that on the top, you can see the dates flashing back to like how he was and then how he's become with her. And there's a trigger warning for some language, but I just want you to really take it all in because you get this is like a condensed version of a 2-hour documentary about between the two of them. And
who made the documentary?
This is done by the Institute for Ray DeVito Studies, IRDS. It's a foundation based out of the Northeast of the United States.
Oh, but wait, Ray DeVito, he's the one who's in it. This is the guy, Ray DeVito. And
yeah.
He made the documentary himself.
No, there's a whole institute that studies this guy.
Oh, so he's not Ray DeVito?
He is Ray DeVito, but the document was made taking found footage from his show and putting it together to create a narrative by this institute. And it's fun. It's got really strong funding. It's based out of the Northeast of the United States.
Why did they make a documentary about him?
Because people study him scientifically to understand and to teach people, future generations, about what to do and what not to do. So the Institute of Ray DeVito Studies, the IRDS, that's the foundation. The founding members are me and Franklin Scheckler, who's another great scientist. And we have about a staff of about 20 to 30, 20 full-time and then 10 part-time helpers that create documentaries studying the happenings of this man. So let's just get through this, and as you'll see, it'll jump back in time. So that's why you'll see the sporadic behavior jumping from then to now, basically.
And that sounded weird as fuck, but whatever regards, I don't give a shit. I think you're fucking amazing.
Want to talk about fucking Eri Jane? She showed up to my fucking work event. She inflated herself.
I think I'm going to go to WATP in Detroit
First, she was like, hey, I'm going to come to Detroit. I'm coming to Detroit. I'm getting my own fucking room.
What the fuck? I think it's rude as hell of you to ask this. Here comes your content. Ask me on your podcast, really?
She fucking invited herself to my fucking work event, which is fine. I was fine that she fucking did that. All right? I was fine that she fucking invited herself to. I had no problem with her inviting herself to my fucking thing. I sold out WATP, and I'm just going as a guest. Not even on the show. It's sold out. She wanted to stay at the bar. She could have stayed at the bar. Yeah, there's a reason why she's been married 3 times, and now one of those marriages has lasted longer than fucking 6 weeks.
If Ray got married, he'd learn to shut the fuck up, and he'd be fucking.
I wouldn't marry Ray.
You see the fucking common denominator there? Who is it? That fucking gap-toothed fucking bitch. That's who's the fucking common denominator.
Ray seems to have
I know that guy.
a real like for you. Do you think?
Yeah, that's Reverend Bob Levy from Howard Stern.
He's an OG.
Yeah, he's one of our buddies. And he's I did a show with Ari for a while too. She's my buddy and Bob's our buddy, and this Ray guy is he's a buddy too, but
yeah, he's a good friend.
But this is his reaction to basically her not willing to
fuck him.
Well, that and yeah, basically that. I didn't want to use vulgar language, but we'll continue this to what do you think so far of this?
Well, it sounds like she's one-sided, and he has all this rage and anger towards her that she's not returning his feelings.
Right, but okay, let's keep going. Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why
YouTube?
she's still like involved in this. Like why is she
That is true. Yeah.
Well, so she had actually
offering herself up to be analyzed.
She had actually withdrawn. So if you look at the dates up here, this freak out from Mr. DeVito happened like months and months later from the dates that this early. So it's going back and forth in time. It's kind of a time lapse of events. But yeah, he did the freak out months and months after she had actually withdrawn herself from the situation completely and cut off all communication. So this is like
Good for her.
yeah, she did the right thing, I think. So we'll keep watching.
By the way, that's one way to be your own cock blocker is keep pursuing somebody who's not interested in you. You'll definitely never have sex.
There you go. Good advice.
You could date. If he asked you out, would you?
No.
She had a thing for me. She was the one that was like fucking chasing me around or whatever. I didn't really show much interest. She kept showing interest. I was like, all right, let's see what's up.
It's like he makes excuses. What the hell can you turn? How can you?
It's because
You know what I mean?
he knows. It's because he knows that I'm not gonna jump on it.
Get out of here. You invited yourself to my fucking event, and then you're gonna fucking manipulate me, tell me what I'm gonna do and what I can't do. Get out. What? Get out of here. Fucking kick rocks.
With a beer in hand.
Yeah, you don't fucking invite yourself to someone's work event and then think that everything that they do you're in charge of. You're not my girlfriend. You're not my fucking wife.
Hey, Chad DeVito, is it true you won't let this Air girl go on anyone else's podcast unless you're on it too?
Yeah.
Or you
Let's
approve
discuss.
it beforehand?
Let's discuss.
Yeah, I would. What do you call it? I do not.
You fucking attention grabbing whore. I get it. That's who you are. That's what you're about. You fucking want fucking attention. I was a little annoyed because like I'm not here to play sleepover with a friend of mine. I was like, this is stupid. So I was done with her. I was like, I'm done with her. All right.
Like how the internet tries to get you with Ray.
Oh my God, that's just ridiculous. Honestly, at this point, it's absurd. Even him, he's being absurd. He's being absolutely like
Did they, when he said he didn't want to play sleepover, did she have him sleep over and they were just like sleeping, but not like intimate?
Okay, yeah, that happened many years ago. But then the context that he's talking about was this quote unquote work event. So he dragged her, basically invited her to this like live podcast show, and then he told her like, "Oh no, you don't need to get a hotel room. I've got a hotel room with 2 beds and all this stuff." And like basically is like, "Yeah, you can stay with me." And then it was like 1 bed and all this type of stuff. So he was like trying to that's like why it's jumping back and forth. And he's talking about his work event. So it's like this event that happened, and he did like a lot of bait and switch when it came to this whole thing. And in retrospect, he's just gaslighting. He's saying like she invited herself. It was his work event, which he was just a guest there. He wasn't even working. And it became a whole different thing in his mind. And the funny thing is all this is documented. So that's why it's like showing his blatant like lies versus what actually happened, what he said back then to what he says now. So that's why it's kind of like the irony of it, of the gaslighting. So,
well, I have to say that I used to run a women's group after Don't Call That Man came out in the city. And it used to drive me crazy when sometimes there would be women in my group and they would be like her in terms of they really weren't attracted to a man. They would have him stay over, like a sleepover. And I'd say, well, if you don't want to have sex with him, like, why would you have him sleep over? And they said, no is no, like, I don't know. Maybe from my era, like, you don't do that.
Right.
I tend to agree.
If you either have sex with a man and he sleeps over, or you don't,
or you tell him to kick rocks.
It's like very simplistic. So I didn't understand women who were younger with this sleepover nonsense. So it's very, I mean, even though, I'll talk to men about how maybe they do things that sabotage themselves and women do this, I have to tell you, it does get on my nerves.
I tend to agree. This was like a kind of off-site thing because Ray's actually, he doesn't have a place of his own. He kind of just sleeps on other people's places. So he's kind of like without a home, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so this was actually at a hotel that someone else actually had paid for. So it was like a weird turn of events that kind of led them down this road. So
guys, I have to get some water. Can I can I hear it at the same time? I'm going to turn the camera off for a second. Okay.
Yeah. I'll just keep playing it.
I can hear it. I have to get some water.
All right. Sweet.
I can't be more straightforward. I think I've been very straightforward. People are like, keep leading him on. Like, what's leading him on, assholes? He's hearing what he wants to hear. Like, stop it.
I didn't kiss her. She didn't kiss me in Detroit or anything. It's like a fucking handshake. That was it. There was nothing. That's why that whole thing is like what? Nothing. I'm like, I'm an adult. I'm not here to fucking play like we're not sophomores in high school. It's not like, all right, let's just like hug and like kiss each other on the cheek and like, it's like, whatever. There's a reason why everyone you fucking marry leaves you within like 3 days where they're like, peace out. I want nothing to fucking do with you. Like, stop it. Go grow up. You go grow up. How about that? You grow up.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? Rock Bottom Podcast.
Rhonda, any thoughts?
Hey. Right, I'm trying to turn it off on my side.
No, you're good, man.
Yeah, so Mir, had you ever seen that before?
No, that video, I've not seen that before. No, I've not.
Yeah, because you're not really into this stuff as much. But
I had to tap out, bro. He's too stupid. I had to tap out of that.
But I thought since we had like an expert here. Oh, you're muted still, Queen. Yeah, so yeah, what'd you think of that guy? The way he handled that?
I'm a little bit surprised you wanted to match me up with him. Like, thanks a lot.
I wanted to get an unbiased.
I don't know. You want to know if I wanted to date him? I don't think he'd be. This man needs to go for therapy for a while before he dates anybody.
Exactly. No, I didn't actually want to set you up. I just wanted to get an objective take on him if he was a good man. And then since you said I'd rather have him as a client, then I said, okay, let's show. He
could be like a super nice guy, but he doesn't sound like he sounds like he has a lot of issues about when he was, he picked somebody who's not reciprocating his interest and he's really pursuing her. It's sort of like this addictive kind of thing where he keeps wanting to go after somebody. There's one chance, like he's going to change her around. And it's sort of, do you know what masochistic is when you like to suffer? I mean, It's a masochistic kind of behavior. Keep pursuing somebody and they keep rejecting you over and over and over. There's something masochistic about that. And then he's getting super sadistic by him insulting her and putting her down and devaluing her because she's not interested in him. She has the right not to be interested in him and he has the right not to hang out with her anymore. Like usually if you like somebody and they're not interested, you just don't bother with them anymore. That's, I think the normal way to proceed.
Right. It's people with, sanity do.
Yeah. So, but I don't know if you guys are trolling me a little bit. Like, is that really?
I don't know anything about this guy, so I'm not
okay.
trolling you. Trust me.
I know everything.
Or is that just for show?
Is the what?
Is it just for entertainment, or is it really? This is really
No,
serious.
we're looking for your actual professional opinion on this matter. Honestly.
Yeah. No, seriously, we are. Yeah, because
it's almost it's like his going on camera and expressing his anger towards this woman. It's almost like, is he just trying to be entertaining, or is it he really seriously putting himself like in like a reality show of I'm so angry at her, like for real?
He's actually mad about it. Yeah, because his thing is, his program is every night he goes live with nothing planned. He just turns on the camera and reads the chat, and he just drinks and takes his pills. And so you really get a picture of what his life's like, because he shares a lot of his feelings and stuff. And this is like a storyline with this woman that she used to be on his show a few times a week. He'd have her as a guest, and they would kind of like a co-host, but like just as like a guest type thing. So there had been like a built up like storyline that had a reality story or whatever of what had happened here. And this is kind of like the.
Can I say, and I hope, oh my God, I hope I don't get a hit for this, or take a hit, whatever they call that when people are going to be angry.
You can say whatever you want.
Somebody, I made a short film about me and a cougar situation. I got into 6 film festivals. That's La Vie en Rhonda. It's right on my YouTube. Anybody can go look at it. And I have to say, somebody with that experience, this is not really good. That's the storyline. Like, I don't see where the storyline is. So you like a girl and she doesn't like you back and you're pissed off at her. Like, where's the story? Do you know what I mean? It's not very entertaining as a story.
It's not. That's why it's not like a story as in like they scripted it. It's just this happened, and like actually the real freak out that he had lasted like many weeks, and it included blockings and like getting all mad about it.
But that goes on all the time, so that's why I don't see what the story is. I'm going into filmmaker mode. Sorry, I've switched.
Yeah.
Therapist to rapper to filmmaker. No, it's like big deal. Like I can tell you 10 people since we've been talking, 10 people just block somebody. Like
no, it's not. It's not a big deal, but it's just like it's not gonna.
That's his narcissism that he thinks such a big deal. He has to make a show out of it.
Right.
That's narcissism, that he's so self-important. It's not entertaining. And to me, it's just some footage of a guy's angry at a woman because she doesn't reciprocate his interest. There's no story there.
I know. So
anybody who's a filmmaker or a budding filmmaker has any experience in filmmaking, they're going to be like, or a TV or website material. There's no story there.
Hey, Steven Spielberg's not knocking down his door to buy the rights to his life. I'll tell you that. Yeah, there's no real story there. It's not like his life's going to be turned into a movie.
It goes on every 5 minutes. This is happening. I mean,
right.
But
I just wanted to get your take as being.
Okay, but, I mean, I'm glad that you showed it to me. I gave him a clinical opinion of him, and now you've got me telling you that he's self-important and narcissistic. It's just getting worse and worse. This poor man. I hope he doesn't. We've gone from you trying to match me up with him to like now I'm like saying he's narcissistic.
I just wanted your.
Wherever he is, I don't know this guy, by the way. I've never met him. He may be the nicest man in the world, so I sort of apologize a little too.
He's a sweetheart. He won't hurt you. He's a good guy.
So this is like my assignment to be on the show. So whoever you are, I apologize.
Whoever you are.
Do you guys like? I don't know if you remember, but back in the '90s, it was I was on the Ricky Lake show and Geraldo and Maury Povich, and I would go on as the the guest expert. And they would throw the situation at you, and you would have like 3 minutes to summarize the whole thing. I don't know who these people are. So that's what this reminds me of. Like, this is the situation, summarize it.
Well, you want to see something else that's weird? He's never had a girlfriend, and he's 50, right?
I'm starting to feel sorry for him. That's like really sad.
It is, but he's fine with it, according to him. So
right, he's.
I don't know who actually said he's never had a girlfriend.
Yeah. Or as long as he had one girlfriend, but she lived overseas, and he just like he met her on a message
I
board.
thought
or
he
something.
dated Dallas Cowboys cheerleader or some shit.
No, that was
I'm
fake.
not really
Oh.
bad. I hope we're not trolling somebody. I don't want to be
No.
like trolling somebody who may really have problems.
No,
Yeah,
this
so
dude doesn't have problems now.
No, he's good. He just had a huge stream where he made $250 today. So check this out. This is a guy. There's another guy who streams named Kevin Brennan. He used to be on Saturday Night Live, and he looks up at to this guy as like a father figure, right? Because he doesn't have parents, so this is like his father. But check out this behavior.
Yeah. He and I don't know. I think I'm on probation from MLC. Kevin Brennan is mad at me right now. He is mad at me, and I am on a leave of absence. Show me the number.
I love Kevin.
I love Kevin too.
I love
True.
Kevin Brennan.
Yeah, this is
I love Kevin Brennan. He's like the fucking greatest. Yeah, I love Kevin Brennan. I will always love Kevin Brennan. He's one of the funniest dudes ever. Even if he hates me tomorrow, I always love Kevin Brennan. Stuff. I love Kevin Brennan, by the way. I love him. I love Kevin Brennan. Are you kidding me? Like, first of all, I love Kevin Brennan. No, I love Kevin Brennan. So I love Kevin Brennan. What does FKB stand for? I have no idea, but I love Kevin Brennan.
Kevin Brennan.
Oh,
Hi, Brennan.
now
Now, Ray.
that's my dude. I love that guy. I fucking love Kevin Brennan.
I'm obviously I love Brennan. I fucking love Brennan, obviously. Everyone knows that.
I love Kevin Brennan, like, because I love Kevin Brennan. And here's the thing, man. I love Kevin Brennan. Obviously, I love Kevin Brennan. He's a good friend of mine. Here's the deal with me, dude. I love Kevin Brennan. So yes, obviously I'm team Kevin Brennan. Yeah.
So this goes on for 17 minutes of him saying that. All right, we'll get off of him, but what are your thoughts on that?
Rhonda, what are your thoughts?
Well, it sounds like he likes Kevin Brennan.
It sounds like he loves them.
He loves somebody.
But he treats him like dog shit. Kevin Brennan treats him like total dog shit.
he does?
Is it Stockholm
Yeah.
syndrome, do you think?
Wait, this Kevin Brennan, he treats him terribly?
Yeah, he's blocked him from everything. Every day he spends like a half hour talking about how he's the dumbest guy alive, how he can't stand him.
Oh God!
And he still just sits there going,
People
"I love
watch
him."
this, and people watch this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Some
no,
people do. Yeah.
I can't
Like
get
1,000
it gets a
people.
lot of views. This gets a lot of views.
Yes.
Yeah, about
1,000.
1,000 at a time live. People watch it.
Really?
Yeah, so
I guess this is what our world is coming to.
yeah, exactly. So
That's all I can say.
yeah, so I
I don't know. I don't understand the entertainment value in that. I'm sorry.
Rhonda,
would
what are you
love-
talking about? You freaking rap girl. You know it's entertainment value. All right, you know it.
I'd rather watch me rap. Talk about narcissistic. I'd rather watch myself rap.
but Rhonda
I'd
as
rather
a
watch Cardi B.
Cardi B, she's a baddie.
Yeah.
As a senior researcher at the Institute of Ray DeVito Studies, I'd like to extend an offer out to you. I see Franklin Scheckler's in our chat too. If you what?
I don't see the chat.
Oh, it's over on the side. Are you on your phone?
I can't visually see it for some. I'm probably better off because when I used to be on Kermit and Friends, I did not like looking at the chat. I used to start like I couldn't even concentrate. I would start
Right, it's just distracting.
So I'm actually happy that I cannot see the chat.
I would love for you to dedicate some time to research this guy and maybe write a book about him.
No, I'm not going to.
You could do it. It could be written in conjunction with Rhonda and Dr. Chow and Sir Franklin Scheckler. I think we could win get a Nobel Prize from it or something. Pulitzer Prize, yeah. So
Rhonda, have you seen men like this before in the past that you've dealt with, maybe possibly as clients? Have you ever dealt with delusional, narcissistic men like this
Oh
before?
my God, yes, very no, seriously, all the time. A lot of times they don't come to therapy though, so I wouldn't see one in my practice, but just in life, I would.
How do you cure that shit?
Seriously, they have to go for therapy, and I'm not saying it like as a funny comeback. I really mean it seriously. They have to go for treatment. for therapy.
Treatment, okay.
No treatment. Well, and when you're in a clinician, you say treatment, but I know to the average person, it sounds like so serious. No,
Right,
I'll say it in normal language. They have to go see a therapist.
Okay. Would you want to treat Ray DeVito if you could?
I have really strict rules, though. Like, I have very intense cancellation policies. He may not like the fee that I charge. He'd have to be so committed. A lot of times, people say go for therapy, but if you go for therapy, you have to be committed to it. You have to go at least once a week. You have to pay a certain fee. If you cancel, you have to still pay, or you have to reschedule. There's a lot of a commitment to it, and so he may not really be up to that.
To change, you have to want to change, right?
You have to be really committed to it.
Right.
And I've had men who are clients. I actually still have men who are clients, and some of them are just regular. They're like the most committed clients that I have. I mean, they're really committed to it. They abide by my policies more than women sometimes because they're business people.
Right.
Sometimes men have. I'm not putting this as a put down to women in no way, but I'm just saying in general, sometimes men are more respectful of it because they're business. And if you have policies, they go by your policies. Opposed to sometimes women will act out and they're like, oh, I don't take this seriously, So sometimes men make the best clients.
No doubt. Yeah, I suppose. It's something potentially we could discuss with him and see if he'd be into getting into
Why
it.
are you so invested in this guy? What's your thing about him?
We got heavy backers at the Institute, so it's part of my job, to research this guy and help him out, make the best of what he's got left in life. So that's part of the reason I brought him up, and I thought it'd be funny to get for you to see his rap, but then also get your professional take without having to pay you your fees. Just get a little freebie out of you. So, but we can get off of him and we can talk about. Let's get back to you. What do you got coming over the next, year or so? Are you working on anything in particular? Are you trying to get in social media game? What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm actually going through a little bit of a transition period now, I think. I really can't even say. I mean, I have different projects. I have an online Don't Text That Man online course now, which is made through AI. I just came out with that, and I'm working on maybe doing another memoir of relationships I had as an adult. So I'm working on writing that. I don't know. I have a lot of things, little projects that I'm sort of juggling, but nothing specific. I'm going to be doing some traveling. So
anywhere in particular you're looking to go?
Yeah, I'm definitely going for sure to Boston and just around that whole Massachusetts area, like the Berkshires and all that, and coming out in beginning of June.
Stop by the Institute while you're up there.
What? The what institute?
Stop by the Institute for Ray DeVito Studies.
Where the institute is? It's in Boston.
Yeah.
I bet it's right near Harvard Square.
It is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Rhonda, can I
see it on Harvard Square?
Rhonda, can I ask you a personal question?
I don't know if I'm going to answer it.
What is the most romantic, most deep connection you ever had with a human being, relationship-wise, that you had, intimate, that you can tell us?
Well, it has to be. We're talking about romantic, not.
Yes, romantic, definitely. And what happened? Like, how good was it? How did you guys develop such a strong relationship? And then what ended?
I would say, well, I don't know. That's like a really hard question because every man I had a relationship with, there was like something special about it. It's really hard to answer that. I really mean it. It's not fair. I don't mean to me, but I mean, it's not fair to each man that I was thinking, oh, maybe this one or maybe that one. It's really hard to answer it.
If you had to pick one guy on the top of your mind.
Relationships that I've had. One I wrote a novel about. I was once involved with the man. I honestly was like very deeply in love with him, and he got arrested for inside trading information. This is during the disco days.
And you left him for that?
No, I didn't leave him. I went to his sentencing.
Shoot.
Anyway, I was using it for content because I wrote a novel about it.
Oh, wow.
I'm like the Taylor
Damn.
Swift. I'm the Taylor Swift of the pop psychology world. Like every man I get involved with turns into content eventually. I really mean it. It's either a novel or a rap or a pop psychology book or.
What about your first love? I know you know that.
My first love. I actually think I was in love with somebody when I was 11 years old.
Okay, no. Hang on. No, not 11. Let's do like first adult love you ever had. I know you remember it too. Look at you blush. Come on.
Oh no. Okay, the first one that really was a mature kind of love was when I went off to graduate school, and there's a man I was involved with when I was in graduate school. That was my first time I was really far away from my family, and I was almost like living with him.
You didn't have your father there asking who's that?
No, I had no family. I was in Chicago in graduate school.
Nice.
And my family lived in New York, so I think that was the first, like really mature adult kind of relationship. I mean,
how'd you like Chicago?
Huh?
How'd you like living in Chicago?
It's funny because I just went back there a couple of years ago because I hadn't been there since graduate school, and I have like this refresher thing in a course, and I have to tell you, I was there during the whole disco era, and I loved it because I mean I know it's going to graduate school, but every weekend I'd be at a BBC's. That was the Studio 54 of Chicago, and it was a great scene. It was a great nightclub scene during that time era. And that nightclub is still there, except it has a different name now. I took footage of it.
Where was it? On Ohio Street?
No, it's on Division Street.
Oh, yeah, okay. Fucking Division there.
And then across was Mothers.
Yeah, there's Mothers is at least from what I Mothers and Mothers 2 are still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhonda.
Nice.
Rhonda.
Yes.
Who was the first man that your father approved of?
My father wasn't not too like you knew about this guy. He wasn't like a very like super strict kind of person. So it's not like
your dad was pretty chill then.
Father, and he approved or disapproved. I didn't have like a family like that. Both of my parents just not like that.
Oh, okay, because I have a daughter, so if you could give me some advice, because I'm a brand new father, and I'm only 26. She's 8 months. I'm 26 years old, so I'm very young. So I was wondering, as a former, excuse me, I'm sure you're still sexually active to some extent. I don't want to get into that with you. You know what I'm saying. But you had a father, obviously, and you were at a young age when you're somewhat rebellious. And I'm guessing you're Jewish, correct?
Yeah, I am.
So you came from, I guess, somewhat of a Jewish traditional family.
It really wasn't traditional. But you know what? I think it's better you just ask me the question about you. Because then we're drifting away from you and the question you want to ask me.
Okay, gotcha. So how did you what was some advice you'd give to me towards my daughter when she comes of age, like around 17, 18-ish?
You have a long way to go, though.
Right, but I just want to hear a therapist, because when's the next time I'm going to have Rhonda Findling on this fucking show talking about it? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's funny because in my family, everybody's having babies now. So everybody's talking. So this is like something that's really on my mind because I'm watching like my nephew, like he's going to be a dad. And then I'm seeing my niece's husband. Like I'm seeing all these young men and they're all having children. And I was thinking about it. What's going to happen when these these kids are going to be older with these men? I guess, you know what? If you're a very, very invested father, you're very hands-on, and you have a really good relationship with your daughter, it's gonna be hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be hard to see your little girl dating all these horrible men that are out there. It's gonna be hard. But I think you're strong. I think you'll be able to.
I'll be all right. I'll be all right.
Fine.
I'm strong. I'm strong. Well, I was going to ask you though. Also, this is an
interesting
question.
I will. I'm going to make a statement though about fathers. I think that if you're a really good father, then she's going to have a lot of high self-esteem, and if she feels very loved by you, she's going to have high self-esteem, and she'll pick somebody who is a really good person for her. And I really mean that seriously. Okay. So you won't be that upset about it because you'll see he's a really nice guy and you'll be happy that she's happy.
Gotcha. So I have one more question.
She's not going to pick some dysfunctional.
Some fucking scumbag biker gang guy or something.
A what?
Biker gang, he said. But no, I mean, yeah, they'll probably pick someone who's
no Tom Selleck's for me.
Especially if you're a good role model.
A guy like her age, somebody you would like somebody similar to you, like
same ethnicity.
your daughter. She's gonna select somebody similar to you because you let somebody like dear old dad, and then you'll feel comfortable with him, and you'll get along with him, and you'll see her happy. So I don't really think if you have a good relationship with your daughter, you're gonna have a problem.
I don't. Yeah. Thank you.
I
I have one more question for you on that though.
Okay.
Since you're a therapist within relationships at the same time, and this is someone that's in the chat's asking this, and this is actually something I would like to understand more is what is your take on the more modern use of sex toys in relationships? Do you think that kind of hinders couples, or do you think that kind of helps actually couples?
Well, I think if it doesn't stand in the way of their intimacy, I think it's fine. I mean, if it's going to stand in the way, if the woman just gets attached to a vibrator and doesn't want to be with the man anymore, that's not good. You
Right, like you do something too much too often.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want the woman that's all, like she's like dating a vibrator. You don't want that.
Right.
You know,
I'm sure that
if
happens.
it just helps if it supports their relationship, I think it's fine.
What's your thought about the pervasive access to pornography nowadays?
I do think that's a problem, and I'm really serious. I think that some guys are getting so addicted to pornography that they can't even be with a real woman anymore because it's sort of. No, and I'm being really serious. It's not. I'm not the only one saying that. It's coming out in studies that are being done and also they don't even have to be with a woman. There's so much available pornography and simulation and like things they could see online that it's just making it. That's what that Professor Galloway is talking about. Like men don't even have to bother being with a human being anymore, and it's sort of making it worse. So it's actually not good.
Right, childbirths are down. Everything's down right now.
Yeah, no, it's actually a real problem.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is, but this is like, it's not just coming from me. If you hear some of these experts in this area who have real statistics and academic studies, it is actually a problem.
Who are some?
That's the way it's going with that whole AI thing. Pretty soon they'll probably just have robots,
just jerking us off.
Yeah. Who are some of the people? Who are some of the people in pop culture that you think are admirable as role models these days? Because it seems like so many of them are. There's some inverted like things that are being elevated, basically.
Right.
I felt so bad that I don't know. Is Cardi B still with Offset, or did they finally break up? I was so happy when they were together because I thought that was a really romantic relationship. They met when they were young and they had children together.
She was telling girls to pop their wet pussies, though.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like that. I don't want my daughter popping her wet pussy.
Yeah, I don't really like that. I love Bodak Yellow and some of her other songs, but I don't like that song. I mean,
what about Kim and Kanye? That was the Un-American Idols that just didn't make it.
I think something's really wrong with. I mean, I really think he has some kind of mental illness, like bipolar or something, and
yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly. So,
she's not with him anymore because I don't think that's a healthy relationship because something's wrong with him.
So she hooked up with Pete Davidson, and that dude's healthy.
They were, well, they broke up, so I guess it wasn't too healthy. But I want to say that whole thing with Kanye, with that woman, and she puts on those weird clothes and she's half naked. I mean, I don't really understand that whole thing he's doing with the woman with the clothes. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, his new wife. Yeah,
I saw that shit too.
It's like so strange to me.
Yeah, he's on one right now with Vultures 1, and then Vultures 2 is coming out in a couple weeks, and he's supposed to release like 5 albums this year, so we'll see. I mean, he's man, so you never know. But
Rhonda, go ahead. Oh, you're about to say something.
Sometimes it's disappointing because some people they're married for like 9,000,000 years. And then all of a sudden you hear they're getting a divorce, so I wonder if was it J-Lo and what's his name, Ben Affleck? I wonder if they'll stay together.
Who knows? Because they were together, and then J-Lo was married to A-Rod at some point, right? The baseball player, and then
together.
Yeah, who knows? That's a wild roundabout thing. Especially, I don't know if any of them even have kids. If she's had kids, does she have kids?
Not with him. I mean, she does have children. I think. Did she have children?
Oh, yeah. Mark Anthony. Yeah.
That singer.
No, I got a question.
Okay.
I got a question because it seems like you were tied in with the Stern people, right? Howard Stern.
No, I was just on Kermit and Friends, but I was on when he was actually watching she was commenting on it. So like he would actually talk about the show on his show when I was on, because that was the very beginning when Benji was on.
So we aren't neither of us really watched Howard Stern,
No,
but
Opie
we've
and
had a
Anthony.
bunch of the Howard Stern people on, and a lot of people say I'm like the Benji guy, which I don't know who the Benji guy is, but what's
I don't really understand the parallel why you would be the Benji guy.
what's he like?
Which one from that show said that? I'm a fan of the Howard Stern show. I'm a closet fan.
Yeah.
I like his take on current, culture, and I love his interviews. He does great interviews. Oh, when he did Barbara Streisand, I was like, I was the only interview I heard of Barbara Streisand was his, because that was the only real interview.
The Queen.
But anyway, who said that you were like Benji? I mean, I do know. I mean, from being on that show that time when Benji was on, I know a little bit about him, and I don't see the parallel.
This other streamer called Hack Ride said it to me once, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't know who Benji was, but he told me that he's
one of the writers. He's been on there like forever, like since I think I don't know the exact year, but he was there for a long time, and he was already 2015. So 15. He's been on there. He's been working for him for a very long time.
And he's good.
One of his major writers. I don't know if he still is, but at that time he was one of his major writers. But he was on the show a lot. He was like a storyline. His relationship with Elisa was a big storyline. So back in the day, around 2014 or 13, that time era, he would be on the show as a storyline. But he doesn't do that anymore. I mean, the few times that I even listen to it, I only listen to when he has an interview. But I never hear him be on the show anymore. But I know he's still one of the writers. I mean, I only know that because once in a while, like you'll hear, like they'll mention his name or something.
What about Stuttering John Melendez? Do you remember him?
He wasn't on the. I mean, I don't know anything about him.
Okay, because he is. We've had him on too, and he was really big. He's really big in this realm of podcasts that we're in, because there's tons of people who he streams every day, like that Ray guy and the Kevin Brennan guy, and all the same people who watch those guys watch Stuttering John, and they go on each other's shows and they fight all day and stuff. So, but he was a big Stern guy back in the day, but he jumped.
I remember him listening to the show that he would go on interviews. He had like really long hair.
Yeah.
And that show was so famous in the early 90s. It was like everybody knew Howard Stern in those days.
Yeah, they marched with him, right? New York or something like that.
Yeah, and I was living in New York. It wasn't even like you were a fan. It was like, even if you weren't a fan, you knew who these people were.
It was a movement.
Yeah, it really did change culture. I mean, when we had the lesbian dating, I remember working as a psychologist in the 80s, and I remember these guys, another psychologist, and we were driving in the car. It's the first time I think I ever heard Howard Stern, and this guy, the psychologist guy that we're driving the car, and he put it on. I don't know what he was talking about. He goes, "Oh, this is so funny, the lesbian dating show." And I'm like, "What are you even talking about?" And then I was listening to it on the radio with him. So this is like everybody in the 80s was listening to Howard Stern.
Right.
Yeah. So, but anyway, John Melendez, this Stuttering John, I just remember he would go out on interviews, like major.
Yeah.
He would ask stupid questions, like almost like unbelievably dumb questions.
Yeah, he would go on the street and interview people and catch them with funny questions, and they'd like get a reaction out of them, basically.
By the way, one of the favorite memories that I'll always remember about being on Elisa's show, Kermit and Friends, is when I was doing the Cougar rap. Benji went out on the street and was interviewing people what they thought about me as a rapper. That was like a big experience in my life.
I saw that video on your page. Or on a short or something.
Really great. I mean, it's like, when you're just like, really, I'm not in really that world. And then like he does that. And I had been a Howard Stern fan back in the day. And it was like he was doing that with me. That really was very, very touching. And honestly, I got some good reviews.
Rhonda,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go, Mir.
I got a really deep question for you here, and I just want to get dirty with you for real quick. I want to I want to get dirty because we had all this fluff, and now I really want to dig deep because you said you're a psychologist to some extent in the 80s. You did some type of psychology. So, what is your take right now on the transgender movement? I want to be politically correct here. Of men and women becoming men, men and women, all that good shit, and then having babies and all that. What is your honest take on that?
It's fine if you
Because you are a woman, so I want your take on
yeah,
it.
yeah, I was. They say that biologically born a woman, like that's how they're defining it now. I was born a woman, and I've not switched genders. I'm still sticking to it.
You're a cis
I'm a
cis female.
woman. The only thing that bothers me is that whole athletic thing, like, and the whole thing where like, if you switch genders and then you want to compete athletically, I don't think they should do that. I think that there has to be something adjusted where.
Right. But
you understand what I'm saying. That's the only thing other than that, I really,
So as a psychologist,
do whatever
and
they
as a,
want to do. You want to switch genders, fine.
What about the locker room stuff at like Planet Fitness that they're talking about doing?
That's huge right now.
Yeah, it really is really hard. I mean, it's really difficult to say, but
difficult.
Okay, let me just say
I don't
this.
understand how that's
I have
difficult.
to be mindful of the women who are born as women to feel safe, so that if somebody comes in and says, "I am a man," it's actually born a man, but they say that they're a woman and they just visually look like a man, even though they claim they're a woman. That I think that would bother me. That would feel maybe not safe because they look exactly like a man.
Yeah, well, I've noticed
women's safety has to be taken into consideration. It's mostly I'm talking about then the transition from men.
No, do your thing. Have fun with that. Like cut your cock off. I don't care. Do it. But my thing
I've
is,
noticed.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go. Well, I've noticed over like the last like 5 to 10 years, a lot of bathrooms now are just like the single male female bathrooms. Like they kind of switched all the bathrooms in a lot of places from like men's bathroom, women's bathroom to like just the either or. You can use either one, and it's like most of the time they have a lock, so you go in there and you use it or whatever. But so it doesn't really matter. But it's just like slowly that's kind of happened over the last 10 years, and people have kind of like just come to expect it now, right? Have you noticed that? In some cities, especially, it's like all of them are
more
like that
metro
now.
cities, I say.
Yeah. I guess so. I just go back to the other thing about women's safety. So it's more the men transitioning to women and going into spaces where the women are is really, if I'm going to start breaking down, if I have any opinions that are controversial, it's that one little area.
The sports. We had MJ Murphy on, and she's very outspoken on that too.
Yeah, the LGBT community. Yeah.
No, she was into she's very big into the sports thing of aspect of it.
Sports thing bothers me because it's just not fair. It's literally not fair.
Right.
So I do think that men's bodies are different from women's in terms of being an athlete.
So they're not biological women then when they transition. They try to anyway. They don't have ovaries. They don't have any of that shit going on.
That's what's happening is like in high schools, like dudes are switching to women, and then they're like breaking all the records or like winning swimming races or winning golf tournaments and like stuff like that. And they're like, 6'2", 6'3" dudes.
So they have to figure something out. Something has to be figured out. I don't know what it is,
but as a psychologist and as a therapist, I guess you agree with this. I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but when it comes to transgenders and what we're seeing here right now, do you find it an issue when it comes to men becoming women and women becoming men? They're trying to normalize that within society, the aspect of that they are women now. Do you find that an issue at all? Because as a woman, I want to hear it from your mouth, because you're also from, you're from an older time.
I know people who are transgender, and if you talk to somebody who's transgender, who's a person, they really believe that they're the other gender. So it's not like, who am I to say you're not the other? It's very judgmental to say somebody you're not the other gender. Right. I mean, honestly, this has been going on since the beginning of time. People just don't know about it.
Right.
Transgender, the whole thing of switching genders has been going on, back
now we're normalizing
hundreds and hundreds and probably thousands of years. It's just that now it's becoming more like everybody just like do whenever they don't like. Now you just do it, as opposed to years ago you just would like not do it even though you want to do it. But now that you can do it, people are just doing it. So it's not like they just came up with it. It's just now you can just do it.
So you don't have an issue with that then? Because I just okay, you're okay with that. So they are women then?
I can't say says I'm a woman,
Like,
they
what
feel
does
like
it take to
they're
be a
I
woman?
mean, who am I to say you're not a woman? You know, it's not fair to them for me to say you're not a woman.
What's your definition of a woman then? I just want to know that real quick.
I'm sure there's different contexts. So in sports, it means one thing to her. In the hospital, when you're or at a OBGYN, it means something else.
Right.
If you're just at a bar talking to someone, it means something else. So I'm sure there's
Let me just say this then. Okay, then maybe this will make you feel better. I think if you're
Make
gonna-
me feel better. I just want to know the scientific
not
term
only
of what's a
feel
woman.
better,
I don't
but
need to feel
answer
better
your-
about it.
I mean, gratify this part. It's curiosity about what I think. That's what I mean. Feel better. This is my answer. I think if you're going to transition and say that, you should go through all the surgeries. So make a commit. It's like we started out with the commitment thing. We're ending up with the commitment.
Don't have a deep voice. Don't rape our children in bathrooms. That's what we want.
That's okay. My answer then is if you're going to say that you're a woman, did all the surgeries and the hormonal things and commit to it.
That makes sense
I
for defining it. What about have you ever had a client who was like expressed they're thinking about doing it at some point? I guess you can't really say specifically about it.
I've had these things happen in my practice, and I don't feel comfortable talking about it.
No, sure, of course.
Everything's said. I mean, everything is anonymous, but
hypothetically, would you do it?
I can't feel comfortable talking about it. Sorry.
Could you do hypotheticals? Would you encourage it or no?
If somebody, it really depended. It depends on how old the person was.
Let's say 20s.
Well, let me just tell you something. If you do go for the surgeries, you can't just go to a doctor and have a surgery. You have to be seeing a therapist for years. You need documentation. So I would have to see that person for years. Like they would want to see me for a very long time to get the documentation to have the surgery. These surgeons, they don't just go cutting off your penis. Or making make-believe vagina. They don't do that.
That's what Christian right activists tell us.
They want documentation.
Okay, because like right white Christian or whatever the fuck they are just telling us. You see the media all the time. Like, oh, they're just chopping off kids' penises. I'm like, are they? I don't think that's actually really happening here. I don't think they're just doctors just encouraging little kids to chop their dicks off.
These are people who've gone through medical school and did residencies. They had careers invested in this. You think they're just going to go willy-nilly, just go do some surgery on somebody's genitals or a mastectomies? Doesn't work like that. You have to, there's insurance companies involved. People have to go for years for treatment. I say that in a clinical way, treatment. They have to go for therapy for years. There has to be documented. There has to be a signature, a sign off from therapists that they've seen this person and the person, has been working on this, and whether the therapist thinks it's something that's, realistic or it's a good decision. Is it a good decision? People don't want lawsuits, so they have to say that it's a good decision, that this person really wants this, and that they're sure of it, that they've discussed it in therapy, that it's been processed and discussed and worked through. That's what really goes on. So I don't know if that answers your question.
No, you're good. I get what you're saying. I get it.
No, it makes sense. And Mir's he likes to talk about.
No,
like this
I just like
tournament
that type of
But I'm not talking about people. This is why I said that I think that they should have all the surgeries and everything if they're going to commit to it, because somebody who doesn't do that and just says, I think, if it's a man and he says, I've decided I'm a woman, and doesn't take hormones and doesn't do the surgeries, and then just goes into a dressing room or whatever that the spa or something, and is walking around and he looks just like a man visually, but he says he's a woman. That it's scary to them because they're afraid, like when he's gonna, sexually
assault. Yeah, like with that swimmer with.
That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing to me as somebody who commits to it, goes for therapy, does it for years, and is committing to having the hormones and the surgeries and everything, and they're going to see a therapist. Those are two different scenarios to me.
And Rhonda, I'm not trying to offend or anything like that, because I'm just trying to understand what's going on, because I'm young and I'm just trying to listen to you guys talk about it, because I think it's an interesting subject, because I see everyone arguing about it all the fucking time. So I don't mean to come at you as some white chivalrous right wing faggot or whatever. I'm just trying to.
No, I understand. It is very it's sort of a compliment. I was gonna say it's controversial. It's complicated. It's like a complicated controversy, especially now, because there is a certain thing about the women's. There's the women the biological women, don't feel safe if somebody looks like a man. The genital of a man, and he comes in there and says, "I'm a woman." It's like it's not fair to the women who are not feeling safe in that situation. That's why it's very controversial, because what about the women who are in the dressing room or the place or the bathroom where they see somebody who looks like a man? When I say man, I mean he has the genitals of a man.
Right, his cock is fucking showing,
Yeah, and
No, I want to get off this because
do your thing,
I'm
John.
not into any
Next
of it.
segment.
But do you have
I
any?
need a drink. No, there's nothing in there.
Here, I'll drink with you, sweetheart. I got you. Rhonda, cheers.
Do you have any routines that you do that prepare you for success, like on a day-to-day basis? Are you what are you into, or do you have anything that you can help because you're a very achieved woman, and
I want to just say, for me, when I'm going through a trauma, creativity helps me. I guess people say, how did you do so many things? A lot of the things I've done was through something was upsetting to me, and I worked it through my creativity. So that always works for me. I have to say that going to karaoke always, I haven't been going for a while. I just had a lot of things have been going on, so I couldn't get there. But karaoke works for me, and going out and singing, having the words in front of me so I don't have to go search for them in my memory. And then it's really good nowadays to see people, not to just stay on the internet and do everything virtual, but to have the contact of other humans. That's really important, to make human contact.
Get out of your room.
A latte really helps me. I'm very, very vulnerable to caffeine, probably from the disco days.
Yeah. No.
At least there's no phenol in caffeine.
Yeah, exactly. Are you into cannabis or anything like that?
No, I'm going to be really honest. Back in the day when all my friends were smoking, I used to get very paranoid. I cannot smoke pot. I'm talking about the olden days. I couldn't smoke pot. I used to get paranoid. If I was with a guy, I would accuse him of putting. I used to say that it was always the same routine. If it was a different guy, did you lace this or that? I used to say the same thing. I was so annoying. Men would be like, "Oh God, what am I with her?" I'd be like, "I know you put something in this." It was a horror. I used to beg, when is it going to wear off? When is it going to wear off? I'm not good at pot. I never was. And now I heard it is so strong now. I would end up in a psychiatric ward if I probably inhaled one time.
Yeah, and it's sprayed with chemicals and grown in certain ways, and so you got to be careful with that. But okay, on the music front, is there any new artists you've been vibing with or following lately?
Not really. I'm trying to think. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. I sort of don't really understand the whole.
Her live album was beautiful, man. What are you talking about?
I know, but I mean, in terms of, I know she's a good
so
singer.
bad.
And
Travis is lucky.
Huh?
Nothing. Go ahead.
You said Travis, that guy that she's dating. You know that guy?
He's a lucky gent.
I know she's a great artist, but I guess this thing where she's such a phenomenon, it's just a little bit shocking to me. I guess maybe because of my age, I don't really get the phenomenon part.
You know Offset. I don't even know who Offset is. So
really? Oh, that's Cardi B's husband.
Offset's from MegaG. He's dank. He's on Kanye's. He's dank.
Who was the Migo that died? I forgot that dude. He got shot in the bowling alley. That sucked, dude. I heard Takeoff got shot in the head. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, Offset's he's got some good flow. He's dank, but yeah. No, I'm on here.
Gonna come after me now. Other Swifties gonna be like,
Rhonda, could you hook me up with some people in Atlanta? You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't have any real contacts.
You heard of the emo scene. Come on, you know some people.
Emo? Wait, the emo scene? You mean when people?
You know some people, girl. Don't play with me. I know you know someone. Come on, you got help a homie out. I'm trying to make it. I'm broke right now. I need to make some bread.
Oh God.
I got a mixtape.
You got a friend that can hook him up as a sugar mama?
I know so many artists who are just like, let me tell you, they're
I need producers, not artists.
It's so hard to make it as an artist nowadays. It's so
You're telling me. I'm eating ramen, man. I'm drinking 99-cent beers right now.
It's very hard to make it as an artist nowadays. It's not like it used to be. It is so hard. I'm really serious.
It is.
Because you know why? Everybody's competing against, it's like everybody's competing against each other. It's like a free for all. Anybody can go online now and try to become famous. So everybody's trying to become, it's like all the horses are lined up. Like even with the books. I mean, back in the day when Don't Call That Man was got published, it was like, bam, once you were published by a major house, like your whole life could change. Nowadays, everybody's still publishing. So those days are over. It's just like a free for all, music wise, publishing wise, film wise. Everybody's making a film now.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just very, very hard.
Rhonda, do you have any patients you could hook me and Chow up with?
Patients?
Yes. Any female patients you think that
No,
Chow and
I
I would
can't do
align
that.
with
That's unethical.
properly?
It's unethical. Guys, I have to get off though.
Oh,
I have to end our session.
Was it me?
Appreciate it, Rhonda.
No, I have to get
No,
off.
she can't. You can't get her in trouble with anything. But
Okay.
do you want to promote any of the any of your socials while we're here?
Well, I'm on Instagram. It's Rhonda, RHONDA, then underscore, and then Findling, FINDLING. And that's Instagram. And then the Twitter, everybody knows from the Twitter.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing your, reposting. I think it's the same thing. And then my website is rhondafindling.com. That's an easy. You can find all that on my website. So it's
And your YouTube is Rhonda Findling. That's where a lot of your good videos are. So check those out if you want to see. We played a little bit of it, but honestly, really appreciate you coming on. We learned a lot from your perspective on, just expertise, and you do have a lot of stuff for people to go check out, including, like we mentioned, the books, the videos, and the social media. There's a lot of good stuff.
And especially if somebody's trying to not contact somebody, they have the Don't Text That Man book and the Don't Text That Man online course. So that guy should really take my course. Try not to contact that girl, the one you were showing me all that footage of.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get him signed up for that.
And like you said, Rhonda, Ray DeVito needs fucking therapy. That is honestly true.
Like he could start off with my books.
Of course, the book, the therapy. We'll get them all set up. And no, we truly wish you the best this summer in your travels, and keep in touch. I'll keep in touch with you on Twitter.
It was great being on your show. I really loved it.
Thank you so much, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye bye.
There we go, Rhonda Findling.
She was amazing.
Great guest, Mir, and guess that's the night, man. Till next time, bro. Yeah,
Yes,
peace.
sir. Peace.